Okay guys, here's the drill. I've got to replace the back wheel on this. Riding along, thinking everything's fine. Do a bit of a turn, and I felt the mower rev more than it was propelling. I thought, that's strange. Next bit, the back wheel just come off, it was coming off, and I shut it all down very quickly. This is the result. The rim itself has broken away. As you can see, big chunks come out where the key would normally sit. So these are just a cast alloy. Obviously this is a 2006, so it's 16 years 16 years old now, so probably, metal fatigue or whatever, and the pressure, all the years are going backwards and forwards, they break. Got a new one. Had the tyre changed on it and found it would not go on. It was like, what the hell is going on? And even the key they sold me from here, the slits in there, was too long. I thought, they sold me the wrong parts. So I rang them up. There's an old fellow who's been around this stuff for most of his life, I'd say. He says, oh, you could have one of the older rims. Apparently there's rims like exactly identical, but the shaft size is smaller. I thought, oh God, that's all I need is to receive the wrong parts, because this place is like far away. It's a hell of a drive to get there, and I had to post it down because that was, to me, was far easier. So no choice but to drive back. Luckily he had a new shaft. We could try that. I took this and I took this, and he had another rim for me, which he said was the right one for this shaft, and it slid on. Then we found that this slid on, and then we found that this slid on, and I thought, oh God. But the key was actually too long, and they had to cut it back for me. They did it, they cut it back. So I would have needed a key anyway, probably had to drive there anyway. But what I'm getting at is when these break off, they cause a bit of damage, especially around the key. I found a lip, which I did file back originally, and this still wouldn't fit on. So we obviously discovered that this needs more filing, and I got it all nice, and I thought, well, why isn't it still going on? You might have to find you've got to do some filing in here. I found a little lip in here to the file back. And once I did all that, yes, now it's going on. But yeah, you really got to, if you think you're just going to buy these parts, you go, no, it doesn't happen like that. Now, had cut a new thread because, as you know, with these mowers, they end up, the wheels get welded on there because they've been on there, so they get moisture and they get almost welded on. And I took it to the tyre guy, and he nicely stripped the nut for me. And went, oh well, nut stripped, So that means every time I wanted this tyre change, I had to take the whole mower in, because I couldn't get it off. But when I couldn't get the wheel off, but he actually stripped the nut as well, just to make it worse. So to do this job all properly, I bought a cutting die nut, because I thought I'm going to get a proper new thread as well, because I got a new nut to go on this, of course. The old nut went God knows where, the old key went God knows where, somewhere in the grass out there, somewhere I couldn't find it. And yeah, typical trouble, trying to get it straight. I don't have a socket that fits on there, so I thought I'll use this G-clamp, which worked really well. So I've actually cut a new thread on there. As you can see, as you know, a thread, you turn it and turn it and turn it back to get rid of the stuff it's cutting, but that should work nicely for the new nut. So we should have a new wheel, new rim, new nut, new thread, new nut, and we should be a goer. So that's how I did it, to get it straight. I just lined it up and I used a G-clamp to give me that leverage. to buy I thought I might have to buy what they call a thread chaser, which you can cut the thread back out, which is ideal. They want like $160 for one of them. eBay, I think they're 99, but still, you know, if you can do it yourself with a little bit of different ideas, that's probably the way to go. So we'll take that off and clean it up. Okay, now just give that a bit of a clean up. As I said, I've filed that back. Where the file is. Anyway, just use a flat file to file that keyhole back. I ended up using a bit of wet and dry to clean it all up. Obviously I've got my axle grease here, because you don't get too many opportunities to get some grease in there, and hopefully next time you need to change this tyre, it'll just come off for you and you don't have to take the whole damn mower into the shop to get it changed, or if you can do it yourself, great, you know. So I'm going to put some axle grease on here, U-nut, then we have a washer, U-washer, bit of grease I say, probably too much. Right, let's get it all over there. The idea is we don't have to put some in here too, just to be sure. I think the easiest way is just to look on the inside as you're doing it, line it up. Okay, we got the wheel on, got the new nut on, and we're ready to go. But not a simple job as you think. Just take one off, put one on. A lot of scraping and filing, and actually filing inside the wheel. They might give you the wrong key length, that'll be taken down. These rims, the early ones, they reckon in the 90s, come out in the 90s, sorry, this is 2009, so in the 90s they had the exact same wheel, smaller diameter, and sometimes you might get one of them. So do your homework before you take it home. Take the old one in, I suggest, and measure it up, because I don't know how they're still getting parts from the 90s, but anyway, this is what happened apparently to some people. I did get the right one, had to file it out a bit, had to file the axle nice and smooth, file the lip down on the key, shorten the key. So yeah, anyway, see how we go now. Till next time.